What up? Today I am gonna do a little bit of body work. I got my Miata here. A little rusty on the bottom and the same on this side. And you can see it's all shot full of foam there. I've already done this once for about $8 worth of supplies, and now I have about 50, so we're gonna redo it, make it look better. So here's my supplies. I'm just gonna get a grinder and I'm gonna clean up all this rough area here. So this is a terribly cheap fix. I don't recommend doing it. The only reason I'm doing it is because I don't want to spend the money to, and I might wrap this car eventually. So I'm just gonna fill all this in. So we just got some hardware store expanding foam. It's sandable, paintable. This stuff expands a lot too, so you gotta go really light right away. So we got our foam on both sides. It's expanding and curing for about 15 minutes. After about 15 minutes of letting that harden, I'm gonna cut it to shape and start sanding it and then break out the Bondo. So I added just a little bit more foam on this corner, just to have enough to sand off. And this whole back corner was kind of missing, so I put tape over it and filled it with foam so that I can just pull the tape off and then work with the foam. The foam's pretty cured. What I'm gonna do is cut it all relatively flat all the way around quick, and I'll get back to you. Oh no, should use tape. Oh, not bad actually. Not bad at all. That was completely a hole, and that is full now. Let that cure for a minute now that it's touching some more air. We'll trim that up. All right, so I got the foam roughly trimmed and sanded down a bit. Now that I got it all trimmed and sanded a bit, and it's looking pretty rough, I'm gonna smear about a pound of Bondo on all this and let that cure for a bit. So yeah, it's looking pretty rough right now, but just wait. Maybe it'll look good, maybe it won't. So every other time I've done this, it's turned out pretty decent. It's not like it's gonna be perfect, but if you're 5 feet away, you're not gonna be able to tell it's all painted foam. For me, it just looks better than a bunch of rust that you can see from 100 feet away. All right, I got my Bondo pretty mixed up here. I'm gonna go start applying it to the car. So I just started the sanding process, and you can see it's kind of starting to take shape a little bit. I'm just figuring out how much more I need to sand. There's a few spots I gotta fill in a little more before I sand them again. But you don't want to do an inch thick layer of Bondo, so I'm gonna do it a step at a time. Sand it down, add more Bondo. All right, so I'm getting some pretty good sanding done here. That's starting to look decent. But for tonight, I'm just gonna sand a little more, slap a whole nother layer of Bondo on, and then leave and let that cure overnight. And I'll come back in the morning and we'll see what we can get done. So we got the other side painted, that's drying. So I'm gonna put a bunch of dust in the air and sand this side. So I found another hole on this side that needed some foam, and my can was solid. So what I did was stab the side of it, let it spray out. I scooped some of that. We stuffed it in the hole. Not too bad. We're gonna let that dry. And then I'm gonna sand that down, Bondo the whole thing again, sand it again, and probably beat a paint. All right, so we're mixing up another layer of Bondo. We're gonna apply it to all this while that foam dries. Once that foam's dry, we're gonna sand the whole thing, probably Bondo that, and do any imperfections along here. So a couple more rounds of Bondo, and this will be ready for paint. So we got the Bondo and the foam drying on the other side. This paint is dry to the touch. So we're gonna peel this tape off and see how the line looks. Not too bad. Sick. Now we just got tape over here. Throw a little bit of our white on here to cover up that Bondo for now. Not gonna worry about these rust spots yet, but that is so much better than the holes that were on there. Oh yeah. All right, we're gonna throw a little primer on this and then hit it with a little bit of white. All right, we're gonna give her a little dusting of high heat white. No reason for high heat, but it looked like it was the closest. That looks pretty far off. Don't like that. All right, so we're gonna rip this tape off now. We know it's gonna look bad, but we also know it's gonna look better than a rust hole.
Bruh, you can
what?
It looks pretty good on camera.
It looks way better than a hole. We knew it was gonna look bad.
Dude, it looks that looks pretty good on camera.
Dude, pretty decent in real life, but
oh, I know, dude. The shit's men's warehouse. You don't like the way it looks, guarantee it.
Is that even Men's Warehouse?
That's Men's Warehouse, dude. I wouldn't make that up.
Woo! It's like, it's bad, but it's not that bad.
Camera don't lie, boy. That's basically, yeah, when you put your shadow on it, you can't even tell.
Cool. All right, we're gonna do some sanding here. All right, so we got this side pretty sanded down. I got a couple of touch-up spots. I got my foam cut. So I'm gonna have to Bondo that a little bit. I'm gonna do one more layer of Bondo and see if we can get this smoothed out. Last layer of Bondo going on. All right, so we got the Bondo all sanded. We're gonna throw some tape down and paint it.
Coverup potato chip.
Okay, now we're gonna put some more truck bed coating on it. All right, so we are gonna peel this off. She's not all the way dry yet. We're gonna get the first look. There's still gonna be all the Bondo and the white above it. Oh yeah. So yeah, this video will probably drive body guys completely insane. But it wasn't about being perfect. But this looks so much better than it did. I could have took way more time sanding the Bondo and redoing it, make it perfect, but this is so much better than it was, and I'm really happy about it. So, that was a $48 rust hole fix. It is the worst way to do anything, not recommended, but I'm not putting money into this car in a way to make it look good. So 48 bucks is justifiable. Went from big rust holes, all kinds of garbage in there. Now it's a full black frame. I'm gonna end up working on this, you know, paint the Bondo, get it looking a little bit better, but for right now, that is it. That's how you fix a rust hole for 40 bucks. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. See you next week.